Hey guys, welcome back to Triple Play Sports Picks. My name is Adrian. Go ahead and do me a favor, guys. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit that like button. Well, here at Triple Play, we had a really rough day, and that makes it now back-to-back slumping days. We get those type of days, guys, and we're not perfect. We can't win every single bet, but we can always try to bounce back. And one recommendation for you guys is always bet pretty low and don't try to go all in on a bet, because you could potentially lose a lot of money, guys. So with that being said, guys, let's get to Friday's recap. October the 22nd, we had MLB, we had basketball, we also had hockey. And the first play we were looking at was a basketball game, and it was Phoenix Suns versus Los Angeles Lakers. And it was a pretty close game in the beginning, but then towards the middle of the game, the Suns just took over, and eventually they never looked back. And the Lakers tried to play catch up, but they just couldn't finish the job. As the final score was Suns 115 and the Lakers 105. And just looking at this game, there's already been some issues going on the bench with Dwight Howard and Anthony Davis, and it's gonna be a long season, guys, for this Lakers, as I feel like they need to make a lot of adjustments. I feel like there's always gonna be different role playing for different players. So we'll see how it goes for the Lakers, as they haven't won a game even preseason and the regular season. I mean, I know it's still early, but I still think they'll get it together. So that was the basketball game. And the second play we had going was we had the hockey game, Boston Bruins versus the Buffalo Sabres. And we had that one at the +1.5. Also the money line, but both of them did not even cover, as the Bruins took care of the Buffalo Sabres with the final score of Bruins 4, Buffalo Sabres 1. So both of them didn't cover. And the last game we had going on was over 8.5 runs for the Red Sox and Houston Astros. And let me tell you, it was all Astros, because they ended up taking care of business. They ended up scoring 5 runs, and that was enough because the Red Sox didn't even score 1 run. We did pick the yes runs first inning, and that one did hit as the only bet that cashed. And so it was a really rough day, guys. What can I say? A lot of things happen, when it comes to sports. For instance, like the Red Sox, got off to a hot start in the first couple games. And, ever since I believe the third game, they just shut down completely. Then they only scored 3 runs in the last 3 games. And man, that's very disappointing, because they're a pretty good ball club. I felt like they were gonna score a few runs for the 6th game, and they didn't score any. So, things happen. I don't know what's been going on. I think the Lakers will bounce back, though. I think they're just trying to figure things out, But yeah, so let's get to Saturday, October the 23rd. I have a few plays for you guys. I have basketball. I have one college football, and I have the NLCS matchup for the MLB playoffs. So let's get to it. First play I'm looking at is a basketball game, and it is featuring the Miami Heat versus Indiana Pacers. And for this game, the total is looking at 223. And the spread is set at 4.5 points. And the favorite is the Miami Heat. Questionable for this game is Kyle Lowry. The record for the Heat is 1-0. The record for the Pacers is 0-2. They are playing at home. And man, that was an impressive game that the Heat brought to the Bucks, as they actually beat them by the final score of 137 to 95. And, the Pacers been playing decent past couple games against the Wizards and Hornets, and they've only lost by 1 point, but they kept it close. So I'm looking at the total at 223, and I think it's going to go over, guys. Indiana Pacers tends to score a lot of points. I just felt like they're like a quick pace type of team, and the Heat, the way they brought their A game in the first game, I felt like it's going to be a high scoring game. So I'm gonna do the over 223, but I'm gonna do the plus 1.5 points. I'm gonna buy the plus 1.5 points, and with that, it's gonna be over 221.5 points for the total game. So that's the first pick I'm looking at, over 221.5. Second pick I'm looking at is the college football game, and it's a Cincy versus Navy. The total for the game is 48.5, and the spread is at minus 20.5 for the Cincy. And I just feel like Cincy is a really, really good team. I know they're playing on the road. 28 points is a lot. I mean, but they do cover a lot of their spreads. But I feel like this is going to go over 48.5. I feel like it's too low. I feel like Cincy could cover probably 40 plus points by themselves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy the plus 1.5 points. And instead of it being 48.5, now it's going to be over 47 points. All right. And now the last pick I'm looking at is Dodgers versus Braves. On the mound for the Dodgers is Walker Buehler. On the mound for the Braves is Ian Anderson. So the last time Ian Anderson pitched against the Dodgers, he went 3 innings. He gave up 3 hits and he gave up 2 runs. Last time Buehler pitched against the Braves, he went 3 innings, gave up 6 hits, and he gave up 4 runs. So on this one, it's really tough, and the total here is looking at 8. And you know what? It's kind of hard to decide who's gonna win this game. I do feel like the way both teams been bringing it the last few games, they've been scoring a lot of runs. You can't really say that there's momentum because a couple games, the first couple of games, it was all Braves, and then the third game, the Dodgers ended up winning, and then the fourth game, Braves won, and then the fifth game, Dodgers won. So it's been a little bit back and forth. But I feel like because of the way the Dodgers came out swinging in the fifth game, with a sense of urgency, with the sense of, hey, you know what? We have our backs against the wall. We're going to make a statement, and we're going to show that we can fight back in the series and come back. And they certainly did. The other day I did pick the Braves plus 1.5, thinking, you know what? It's probably going to be a 1-run game, if the Dodgers end up winning. And I think the Braves plus 1.5 will cover. But it did not cover because those Dodgers back came alive on the fifth game, and they scored 11 runs to 2. So I feel like there is going to be a momentum shift going on with the Dodgers. I know Walker Buehler is going to go on a 3 days rest, but you know what? Walker Buehler's been in so many pressure situations that I don't even think it even phases him for him to go under this pressure, as he's used to it. And I feel like this Dodger team is going to try to force a Game 7. And if they do, I think Mad Max is going to probably pitch for Game 7. So on this one, I'm going to lean towards the Dodgers. And I feel like it could potentially happen. They've been in this situation before. To them, I feel like it's more like a motivation for them to try to win. And so for that reason, I'm going to choose the Dodgers money line. All right. So recap for Saturday, October the 23rd. I am picking the over 221.5 points for the Heat and Pacers game in NBA. Second pick is a college football game. I'm picking the Cincy and Navy going over the total of 47 points, over 47 points. Both games buying the plus 1.5 points. And the third pick is picking the Dodgers money line. All right. So thank you guys for tuning in. Let's hope, let's hope we bounce back. Last week we had a really great week. We went on a 5-game winning streak with the 15-5 record. And, this week is just a totally different ball game. And I feel like today could probably be our first winning day back. So thank you guys for subscribing to my channel. I do have an Instagram profile, as it is 3P Sports Picks with the Z at the end of sports and Z at the end of picks. And it is the same name as my YouTube channel. So thank you guys. And let's hope that you have a winning day. Thanks, guys.